Heading to the towpath. See you in a little bit. Well, I've got the first stop on my route from my home to Shepherdstown done. Not far, but 4 miles. But at least I'm off the road now. It wasn't too bad. No issues. As you can see, I've got the e-bike and the trailer I made. So I'm testing it out again today. So we've got a couple miles of here, then I'll take some back roads. Couple hills to go up. My usual route over to Shepherdstown from my home. So get a drink and get rolling again. So I'm down in Shepherdstown. Just took my bike down here, parked it. And you can see from where I'm standing, Rocks is right there. And this vape store is right there. And the bike path is here. The bike path continues right down here. You can't really tell if you're never been here, but the bike path goes down here. Don't go through there, go through there. That Welcome Bike Virginia sign normally is not there, and probably neither is that cone with the arrow, but the bike path continues right through there. That'll go out to the four-way stop, not the four-way stop down there, but the next one over. And this is the access on University Avenue up to the Arts Center, gym, and all that. So be careful, make your way across there to this bike path. There's a small sign right here, downtown Encino Canal. I didn't know this was here. So I do now, and you probably do too now if you watch this. Plenty wide enough. Looks like almost 5 feet. And that's what I'm rolling with for the next few days. So continue on straight. Looks like there's a sidewalk there, but don't take that. Continue straight down to the four-way stop. And then you can go straight across over to the university, or left over towards the bridge and cross into Maryland, then take the switchback down to the towpath. So 13 miles so far. Would have been about 12 and a half, but I circled back a little bit to get to here to check this connection out of this bike path. I didn't video very much coming over from my home. I figure what's the sense, not too many people will be doing that. But it wasn't too bad. I had 3 hills to climb. 3 most of the way, and 4 and 5 some places, just to get me out of traffic situations. Continue on through. Up ahead where all that traffic is, you'll want to make a left if you're going to Maryland over to the towpath. Straight if you're going to university for some reason. I mean, you can go straight and then make your way down over 1 block to the right to German Street. That's the old town where some of the restaurants and stuff are. Four-way stop. I get on the sidewalk here because it's an immediate exit up here to the switchback across the bridge. I could have stayed over in the road, I guess, but this is plenty wide and it's access. It's not too busy here. If you're pulling a trailer like me, don't forget you're pulling it and go off the edge, your left wheel on the trailer. So it's a sharp right up here. You can be careful. I wish they would have given more surface space, but they didn't. So I have to take it kind of wide. Looking at my mirrors. And then through that right there. Making sure. Through there. And I'm here, finally. $15.90.3. Get away from this noise. So let's get down to the towpath. Okay, let's get on down. It's about 5 turns maybe. Not too bad, especially going down. Watch people coming up though. And these turns are not very easy when you're hauling the trailer. These turns are kind of sharp when you got a trailer on. So do be on the lookout for people. Okay, I won't tape the video the rest of this down. 2 hands on the handlebar, buddy. Here we go. Don't forget the trailer's on. And one more turn. Remember, you might have trees down. And I'm going to go off the edge with the trailer. Okay. A couple more turns. And that's the edge of the surface. Now the stone. The bridge is up there. That's where we just came from. And over to here. Then here, this side, if you're going to DC, north towards Cumberland. Cumberland that way, DC this way. Okay. Now this part I usually drive over and start from here, but today I rode the 13-14 miles from my home. Just easier with the trailer, I thought, and it wasn't too bad. So, okay, let the fun and games begin. You can take that and have a look at the river. Pretty good river access. Right across from the Shepherdstown boat ramp launch. It's pretty steep over there. And the Rumsey Monument's over there. So, okay. Let's hang the video up and get her going. So, I'm going to switch my battery out because I want to test a full battery from the towpath in Assist-3 the whole time. Of course, I'll be going downhill slightly, so it'll probably use more electric, a little bit more coming back. Because on my other last month, I stayed in Assist-4, 10, 11, 12 miles per hour, and I used about 12 to 13, 14 miles per battery, 500 watts. So let's see what I get with Assist-3. don't need the reflective vest anymore. I will leave my helmet on, I guess. It is pretty hot. So let's throw that down for now. And trailer looks good still. Trailer looks good still. Don't see any issues, do you? I know my kickstand's a little loose. Okay. Let's go ahead and swap the battery around so I have a fresh battery to test from. Okay, so I just pulled the battery out that I used to come over from my home, about 13, almost 14 miles. And that's the standing voltage right now, 47.13. So let's get it swapped out. So a full battery is 54.6, I think. Okay, so let's pull the battery out. Those are my chargers in there. Pull that one. So I topped these off right before I came out. So let's put this in. Okay, so battery's in. I pulled the key out, stored it in here. I've got a little pouch in there that it will never fall out of. And that's the one I just took out. So let's put this in here. And then I'll fasten that back up. Yeah, that's my toaster. Woohoo! Too hot to toast right now though. Probably 85, 90 degrees. So when that battery cools down some this evening, I'll top it off, charge it up from the Jackery. It's 1,000 watts. And we have a train. Woohoo! Train, train. Very good, thank you very much. I tell you, that cup holder really is nice. I wish they still made it or made it available, but I can't find it anywhere on Amazon. So it's gone. So cooling down. Okay, snack time by the river. Trying to cool down. It's hot. Get moving again. Okay, so let the test begin. 1590.6 is the start. We'll keep it an Assist-3 for the majority of the time, if I can help it. Okay, stop here for a second. And this is where I normally start when I'm in Shepherdstown area, across from Shepherdstown, over at the parking lot. But there's the map. This is where I'm at right now, 72.8 according to this. Right there in that bend. Keep on going down. Go past Harper's Ferry to about 12 miles. Keep on going to Brunswick. Past that. Past Catoctin Creek Aqueduct, Lander, Pointer Rocks, and keep on going. I'd like to get at least 38. Nice to be 16, but it's going to be busy tonight. So I'll just have to play it by ear. I know I'm going to run out of light if I try to do much more than 38. So 73 roughly to 38. Let's get rolling. Don't have the truck today. Rode over from my home 13 miles. So keep on going. So with all these batteries, I lose the top bar immediately. I guess it's charged up to 54.6 or so, and it doesn't take much to drop it down. And we'll see. Assist-3. I don't need it right now. Legs are fresh still. But I wanted to test it in Assist-3, so that's what I'm doing. .11 miles an hour seemed comfortable. Assist-3, the cadence I'm in. And it's just ever so slightly downhill going east towards DC. You may be wondering on this bike, the Priority Current version 1 e-bike, what's the difference between Assist-4 and Assist-3? Well, by percentage, it's about 33% less motor use. So anytime I pedal the pedals, it's using 33% less motor than what Assist-4 was. So it's a pretty big step. And then going down to Assist-2, which I'm not going to do because I'm in this test mode to see how far one battery will get me. Assist-4 to Assist-2, that's like 51% less. So, or 49%, like 50%. So, Assist-3 is 33%. Down to Assist-2, it's almost 50% less power than Assist-4 was. So what will that do to my overall mileage when I was only getting 11, 12, 13 miles per battery, 500 watt battery? So it's a third more probably in Assist-3. And maybe even more than that, because I won't be climbing any locks. Everything will be downhill. So will I double? I mean, I could come close to doubling the mileage at 24, 25 per battery in Assist-3, which is about what I normally would get without carrying any load. It's about 25 to 28 miles per battery. So, and then Assist-2 normally would be about 35 miles, but we'll see. I'm guessing it's going to be pushing around 20, 25 miles per battery. We'll see. And just like that, 3 miles advanced, Antietam campground. It's one of those fee-based campsites. I think there's like 18, 19 sites along this stretch. You have to park over by the road. But accessibility to get there is kind of hard sometimes. You got to walk a fair distance. Can't pull up right to it unless you got your bike. They're about 20 bucks a night. So, but not bad though if compared to other stuff, other choices. Road turns over there, and there's a turnaround spot over there for vehicles. And this is Antietam Aqueduct up here. You choose this side, you'll be on the high side, but be careful, you're supposed to walk it across. It's uneven surface up ahead. Or you could take the low side. Then you got that little incline out of there. water's down. Antietam Creek. So at mile 69 point something 6. Don't forget your trailers on there. Okay, keep on going. Don't forget your trailers on there. It'll go off. I should have probably taken the low side, but then I would have missed the view of what's up here. And one more time, don't forget the trailers attached. Rolling again. I missed the pedal. I can adjust using the shifter, twist shifter. It'll make it easier or harder to pedal. And when I think about that, I equate that to the gear inches that it's set up for. And when I think about gear inches, I think of either chain drive or belt drive. Well, this bike has belt drive, and then you have to realize with belt drive, you need an internal hub if you have a mid-drive motor. So your rear hub has to do your shifting for you, and you can't use a cassette with a belt. You have to use a chain. So the chain's actually probably better if you want to get lower gear inches and be able to pedal a lot more than using a motor. But I've chose this bike, not really researching at all, and I don't regret it, but with a belt line, belt drive, you're limited on your choices for a rear transmission, for a rear hub. And then the choices on this bike was Enviola heavy duty hub or the Shimano 5-speed Nexus hub. Well, the Nexus was all right. It has less resistance. You could pedal probably a little bit easier without the motor because the Enviola has a good bit of resistance, about 14 to 16% resistance compared to about 3 to 5%. But yeah, it's a little harder to pedal. So with an Enviola hub, I have to always use the motor. So I'm limited to what my choices were when I chose this bike. Everything's invested into the bike as far as this bike. Money's not totally free. Well, money's not free at all, but not a lot of it to go around these days. So I have to make the best with what I have. And with this bike, and it's a great bike, I'm pushing it way, way beyond what it's intended for. It's really only intended for a commuter to carry a few things, your groceries or whatever maybe. But I pushed it way beyond that. So today with the trailer, it's probably pulling with me and the gear. My gear's pretty light now. I'm probably 40 pounds of gear, if that. But with the trailer, I think altogether about 425 pounds with me and everything. So, which is far exceeding what it's recommended for. And if you publicize what you're pulling, you're going to lose your warranty if it does break. Most likely. So anyway, I always think about these things. And since I'm videoing, I thought I'd just vocalize it. But in the same breath, I'm actually enjoying this ride, getting out here. It's cooling down some, especially with the air blowing on me now. So it's a nice ride. So, just pedal, pedal, pedal. I say I'm an Assist-3. That's what I'm testing in. I could have done 2. And I'll probably do that on the way back. But I'll have to bump it up into a higher assist up those lock inclines, because 2 is very hard to pedal. That's the other thing about this bike with the Beltline and the Enviola hub. You're not pedaling very much on your own. You are with the motor, but beyond that, you can't pedal too easily. So everything's been a big test for me with this bike. Seeing what it'll still do, even 2 years later. About 1,600 miles on the bike now. Alright, well that should be enough about the specs of the bike until I figure out my mileage per battery in Assist-3 with the weight I have today. Mile 67. With lock 37. Okay, I'm in the 64.x region at this little detour. Circles over here, goes across this little bridge. Man, I'm surprised nobody's here tonight. Unusual. Don't forget, you can keep going straight on that grass area. Down past the locks, take a look at it. It is a dead end. But I'm just following the towpath tonight. Don't forget, this once was an inlet to the locks, to the canal. That's how the canal got fed in this area. And over here is the edge of the lock. But 2 miles, 2.5 miles to Harper's Ferry yet. Start to get a view of the river, the Potomac River. A couple of miles, the Shenandoah will converge up here. Hard to see during the non-winter months, all these leaves. A couple miles outside of Harper's Ferry now. Just under 12 miles on the towpath so far. If for some reason you wanted to go to the hostel, you want to exit here, not the stairs up ahead. Hi there. Riding past Harper's Ferry. Harper's Ferry's over there. And there's a bridge, pedestrian bridge across the river. But you have to use these temporary stairs down here. They should be coming close to getting the permanent stairs brought in and then secured. It's probably about 5 o'clock now. I'd have to check the time. 5:15 maybe. You gonna make it okay? Just a little update on the permanent stairway. Just not a whole lot's been accomplished from face view, but I'm sure there's a lot of work that's been going on because there's a lot of area down there that has to be dug up and resecured. But if you're just passing through, you just think, you know, not much has been done. You know, why is it taking so long? But get it done, the infrastructure done, and then they can get the stairways brought in. And that's the stairway, temporary. There's no bike roll area. A lot of rock that they've brought in, I managed to find. Okay, keep on rolling. There's only a small window of opportunities to see past the foliage. Be a better view up here a little bit. If you can't see it very well, you can hear it. Okay, so one more thing about this e-bike. I'm in the middle Assist-3, and that's of course where I'm testing it out as. But it feels like in a vehicle, if you're on a manual shift, it feels like you want to shift, and like up in the Assist-4. But I'm pedaling and pedaling and pedaling harder and harder, but my efforts are getting eaten up by the loss of efficiency in that rear hub. Now, of course, I'm changing the shifter to lower my cadence to get a little more effort. But anyways, I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say, but it just feels like I want to go up in the Assist-3 to go faster, but it doesn't seem like it should have to do that in order to get more speed. I'd like to put more manual effort into it, but my effort is being eaten up in the loss of efficiency. So, anyway, that's what it feels like anyway. So Assist-3 limits really your effort that you can put into it. I mean, you can put more effort into it, but you'll gain just a couple more miles an hour, not much more. But that's a lot of effort to try to overcome the resistance that's in that rear hub. Probably some in the motor too, but mostly it's that rear hub. It's a known fact that it's about a 14 to 16, 17% loss of efficiency compared to a cassette or even other rear hubs. But the positive thing on that hub is it's built to withstand about 550 pounds. So that was really the only choice I really logically had to make, is to go with the Enviolo, only because I couldn't really get a roll-off yet where the roll-off would widen my gear range considerably. Okay. Anyways, that's the stuff I think about when I ride this e-bike. It's not perfect, but it's made to last so far. It's a well-built bike. I wouldn't want to get a cheaper bike and then have things break and have a lot of proprietary parts on there, even though there's a few proprietary parts on this bike that you have to get from Priority, but they have great, excellent service, and I think they're willing to work with whatever problems you might encounter. So no way, shape, or form am I beating up Priority at all. They're a good company. They put out some great bikes, and I just wish it had another option for the rear drive. That's all. To widen the gear range beyond 380% and beyond the loss of efficiency, but if you could still maintain the durability of that hub, I just think a roll-off would be the answer to that. But there's a problem there you have to overcome. There's a belt line. It's about 9 millimeters off. So can you reverse the spider crank? I asked Google that and they think not. So I don't know. I just keep on trying to make it better, or thinking about making it better. But at what point do you stop putting money into something and so I need to fully investigate what's out there, see what kind of Bosch systems are out there that would work with the roll-off for sure. And I don't have any problem doing a manual shift if I could just find a wheel and then try to reverse the spider. It'd be within 1 millimeter difference, and maybe I can make up the difference in a shim washer. But then again, that changes the torque on that motor, maybe on pedaling. So I don't know. So okay, let me get back to just riding. But that's what I think about sometimes when I'm out riding. It's how to make things more efficient. How you doing? It's about mile 58. About 15 or so miles from where I started on the towpath at 72.8 or 6. Can't see it, but you can hear it. About 2 miles from Brunswick. Brunswick Family Campground. All 54 is up here. Okay, 21 miles in, and I'm working on my third bar. So there's probably about 25% of the battery left. Probably less than that if you go based on voltage. So probably about 20% left. And you don't want to go right down to zero. I don't. So I'm going to call it at least 25 on this trip for this battery. In a little bit, which has been pretty easy going with no inclines or anything like that. Pretty much flat, straight going. No slow and go with mud puddles. That makes a difference. So coming up to the aqueduct up here at 51.5 Catoctin. Okay, let's roll again. Stop for a few minutes, rest up. Almost to Point of Rocks, but 2 more miles. This is the Bald Eagle campsite. There's a access path just before you get here through the woods. That's about milepost 50. How you doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
Good. Okay, time for a bench and change the battery out. Got about 25 miles on this battery, Assist-3, conservatively pedaling. Just past Point of Rocks, mile 48. So that's 10 miles to go to Marble Quarry campsite. I'll see how it is. Got a couple hours of daylight left. And I'll likely camp there unless it's super busy. Otherwise I'll push to go to Swain's Lock, which is going to be super busy too. But there's a lot more space. But that puts me getting in after dark, which wouldn't be too much of a problem really, because I've got lights and battery to charge my lights, so no worries there. So play by ear. 48, mile 48. Point of Rocks, just past it. The reason I stopped was to change my battery out, and I'm on my 3rd battery, so I've got both of the other batteries charging off of the fully charged 1000-watt Jackery inverter. So the one battery was about 3/4 used, and the other battery was pretty much all used up, about 90%. So that should fully charge both of the batteries again, with leaving with not too much left in the Jackery. And that's how I really want it, the way I have it now, because I can quick charge the Jackery in about an hour down at the visitor center. That's really the only next receptacle along the way that's outside. So here's a pretty close campsite to Point of Rocks. I don't use it because I don't need to. I generally push on, being on a bicycle. Now if I was in the MARC train or something, yeah, I would probably use that one if I was traveling the MARC train. because they make a stop at Point of Rocks and pick up in the morning. Okay, rolling on. Either 10 miles or about 30 miles. So from Shepherdstown, well, across from it, where I started at that big parking lot on the towpath, although I did ride from my home, but essentially from the towpath, 73 mile marker, to Point of Rocks is about 25 miles. So I've cycled 25 miles on the towpath in about 4 hours. No, 3 hours. I don't know, something like that. 3 or 4 hours. Kind of slow. Yeah, probably 3 hours. Less than that, because I was doing about 10 miles an hour, 12 over 25 miles. So yeah, less than 3 hours. Six and a half miles to the campsite. This is 44.6. It's a day use area. And a boat ramp down there. Nolan's Ferry. 44.5 on the map. So here's what's going on in here. Got the 2 chargers going. With the Jackery as the inverter. Charged up 16% off the Jackery so far. Of course, there's a little bit of loss. Should charge about 1.6 batteries. So it should charge it fully, because one was about 3/4 and the other was about 90%. Okay, I'm getting kind of tired. It'll be about a 50-mile day if I stop at the campsite up here. About 6 more miles. Getting a little stiff and sore from this arthritis. Okay, keep rolling. Assist-3 on the 3rd battery from my home. Indian Flats, 42 something. Nobody camping, so maybe that's a good sign for 38. I'm just trying to get closer to DC, otherwise I'd probably camp there. I've got the walk assist to get me out of the hole down there. But see what 38 looks like. Milepost 38 is about 4 miles away. Coming up to the Monocacy Aqueduct. I'll probably take the high side just to see a better view. I don't see anybody fishing to be in my way, so I'll take the high side. Probably about an hour before sun goes down. It is an uneven surface, so you really have to be careful. And I'm pulling a trailer. So you can see the Potomac River over there. I'm not looking at what I'm videoing. I'm watching my rolling surface. As you can see how the towpath curves. Oh yeah. Okay. I recovered that. Like I say, you're not supposed to be rolling on this thing. Since I'm still, let's take a picture. Okay, I'm back. I'm trying to watch the surface. Those cracks, the tire goes in it, and you can't balance that well. But yeah, I'm not supposed to be riding on it. Should be pushing it. Okay. Anyways, about 4.5 miles, 4 miles to the campsite. We'll see what it looks like. Getting tired. And I'm running out of light, so it's easier to set up in the daylight. But I have set up in the dark with the light. Trailhead out there, 42. All right, so 4 miles. 4 miles. I just don't like how it feels in 3. It's like a limiting force. I want to go faster, but yet it keeps holding me back. So e-bikes are not all get on it and go. It's actually harder, I think. But anyways, the motor's good to have when you need it, want it, but yet then it does hold me back because of the efficiency loss, resistance. And if I bump it up to 4, then the motor's automatically up to 75%, and it's using more energy to stay on. Block 27. Talk about algae. That's plenty of fish food there. Bird food. Completely empty. That's great. All right. Marble Quarry. All right, well, I'll turn my bike around and I'll set my tent up, sit on the bench here, and I go over here and set it up. Surprised that these campsites are completely empty. It's a Friday night. Camp is all set up. Been here for quite some time. Got here just at sunset. Charging the batteries. I'll have to check there. Is probably just about charged. But here, sitting here, this is my food bag. About 50 miles today. For about once a month, it seems like lately. That's not too bad, I guess. It's quiet. Bugs are out some. But I'm in my chair that usually sits right there in the back of the bike. Brought a Dr. Pepper and a Coke. Of course, got some water. I'll refill down the ways at Swain's tomorrow morning on the way into DC. Chick-fil-A ice, and inside here I've got a ice pack cooler, like a soft pack. It's not real insulated, but enough to hold it for a few hours. So I've got another ice container cup in there from Chick-fil-A. We get those usually every day that they're open, and we just store some in the freezer. It's hard to see over there. Yeah, too dark. Anyways, got the front of the bike covered up. I forgot my bike cover. I usually bring a very light bike cover, but I forgot to pack it. And I forgot to pack a couple things, but I'll get by. So, anyways, this is camp for tonight.